afternoon,
All
everyone.
right.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning into Washoe County GOP podcast. And today we have a third episode in our series called Meet the Candidates. And so we like to profile our candidates that are running in our midterm election. November 8th is voting day, and give our audience a chance to put a name to the face, because sometimes we don't know on those down ballot candidates really who they are. So this is an attempt to change that and make these folks accessible to people so they can kind of get a better look, a better glance at who the person is and what they want to do once they get into office. So we are super pleased this afternoon to be able to introduce Ms. Denise Myer, who is running for County Board of Commissioners, a position representing District 3. So we're going to spend a little bit of time getting to know Ms. Denise today, and we want to just start out by having her just share with us a little bit about who she is, just as a person, irrespective of the office, but just a little bit of her backstory. So Denise, tell us a little bit about how long you've lived in the area and what do you like about living here?
Well, this is my favorite place to be, is Reno. I've lived here since 1962. I was a small child when I came here, but this is my home. And I have raised my children here. I've got grandchildren growing up here. I've gone to school here. I have a bachelor's degree from UNR. Also have a master's degree, but from a different school, but it was online, so I always stayed in Nevada while I earned my degrees. I like to travel and see other places, and always glad to come home to Reno.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's the most exciting place you ever visited?
I don't know what else to say about me. I think maybe the most exciting place I've been is Tel Aviv, Israel. I worked for an airline for about 20 years. And so we opened up, I worked for Delta Airlines. We opened up a station in Tel Aviv, and I went there and spent 8 days there. Fabulous place. I loved it. It was so great. My favorite place to go, however, is I have two favorite places. One is Ireland, one is Belgium. Those are both just some of my favorite places to go. So I haven't traveled too much to the east, but yeah.
Awesome.
Those are my favorite.
I love it. I hope to get somewhere cool somewhere soon. Sometime soon.
Well, it helps when you work for an airline and you get it's always standby, but if you can get a seat, you can get there.
Absolutely. How fun. I love that. I love that. That's the spirit of that. So that sounds wonderful. So you are a longtime resident and very vested in the welfare of our city and how well it does, not only for your kids, but your grandkids. So you're extremely invested in making this place a good home for families and singles and everybody. So that sounds wonderful. Let me ask you kind of the next natural thing, which is specific to the county commissioner board position. Why is it that you've chosen that position to get involved with?
So in the last, I don't know, year and a half, my husband and I have been paying more and more attention to what's going on in the city. We've always been political, but we haven't been as involved and being part of the Republican groups. We started going to Central Committee meetings. And so we've been going there, being involved, doing as much as we can to promote the Central Committee and be part of it. And for this election, they had somebody who was going to run for County Commissioner District 3, but in February, they redistricted some of the lines of the district. So that person was districted out. His home was no longer in that district. And so they called me and said, hey, would you be interested in it? We know you've been involved and that you're a good, strong Republican. You think like we do. Would you be interested? So my husband and I talked it over, and we really want to be, we see a change is coming, that people want a change for the better in this city. And we really want to be part of that change. And so I said, yeah, I'll run and take care of the voters that are not being taken care of currently, we feel. And so, yeah, that's how I started.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Well, along those lines, what qualities do you feel are important for a person to be a great county commissioner?
Well, to be a great county commissioner, you have to like people. So part of that is you're going to get complaints from people. And you might get some good things, but I think for the most part, when your voters, when your constituents are calling you, it's to complain about something. So you have to be sympathetic to what they are complaining about. You have to be able to follow up on that. With that, I also think that working with other county commissioners, you have to be able to be somebody who is, you can work with somebody else, but you can also stand on your beliefs and maybe try to sway them. In my previous career with the airline, I went through a lot of conflict resolution. So, and there was a lot of conflicts when I worked at the ticket counter at the airport. So they teach you how to kind of change somebody over to thinking your way. So when they, if they see it one way, you can kind of persuade them gently to see it your way. So I think that's a really good quality for a county commissioner. And part of my degrees are data analysis. So taking what information that you get, maybe digging in a little more, finding out the deeper parts of it, and being able to make an informed decision, not just a decision on the surface of what you see. There's other parts in there. Another thing I do as a safety person, which is my current career, is root cause analysis. You need to find out why something is the way it is and how it affects other events or issues going down the road. So I think those are qualities that you need to do this job, and I have all of those.
Excellent. And when you say root cause analysis, to me that is so key, because when people do come with a complaint or a concern, something is not working, right? That's why they're complaining. Something is not functioning in the community. If a person is dedicated to that scientific process of collecting facts and investigating and doing that hard work of root cause analysis, you're going to have a better outcome if you're being governed by the discipline of that process. So, I mean, I think that sounds excellent. And the fact that you are combining that with being principled, that in conflict resolution, hopefully you want a good outcome for everybody, something that is going to be beneficial, and that's a principle. That is a very good governing principle to go by, and it's not selfish, it's not agenda driven, it is for the greater good. So that's excellent. Now, I know for me, I'm just going to be totally honest, I've only been to a few county commissioner meetings myself, and I don't understand all the specifics about the rules and the role and the responsibility of a county commissioner. So can you shed a little light? You don't have to give like a dissertation on it, but just for us viewers and listeners that don't know all, don't really know what that role is about, could you maybe break that down a little bit to us?
Yeah, it's actually a bigger job than I even realized. I knew that it was a very important part of our local politics, our local government, but they have a $1 billion budget. So they are doing contracts and purchasing for the county. Sometimes they give out grant money. They do public health and safety. They do planning, zoning, development. There's so much involved with what they do, and so it takes a lot of time to research into every issue that comes before them to make a decision. If and when you're making that decision, you want to represent your district, but you also represent all of Washoe County when you're voting, when you're one vote of five. So it's a job that encompasses everybody in Washoe, but it kind of concentrates on your area. One of the things that they do is, and I found this out recently, I didn't know, is there are fire commissioners for Truckee Meadows Fire Department. So
Okay.
they are responsible for them.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
so
Wow.
there's so many different facets to that job, which makes it a very interesting job and makes it very important to the constituents.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, that's good. That helps. All right. So since there are a lot of facets and the, you know, it's a diverse set of responsibilities that you deal with in that role, I feel like equal to that are the number of opportunities for improvement in our Reno Sparks area. You know, it's a great place to live. Nobody argues with that, but we have had some recent, you know, challenges, and we can, you know, get into that. I know you are familiar with a lot of those. So in terms of the challenges of living in our area with its growth and things, what do you see as one of your perhaps top priorities to take care of for your district and maybe even the whole of the county?
So one of my main issues that I feel is really important to our community is our seniors. So we have seniors who, seniors are actually 20% of our population. I don't know how many people realize that, but it's one of the fastest growing groups of people in our county. We're at about 150,000
Wow.
seniors in this area. So a lot of people have come here to retire.
Mhm.
And so seniors are somebody who, with that, we actually have one of the highest suicide rates with seniors here. They've been very isolated, especially since COVID, where they haven't been able to get out and do group activities. So one of the issues that recently came to my attention is the closing of Paradise Park as a senior center. So if seniors don't have the ability to go and interact with other people, then they're going to feel more isolated and more lonely.
Yes.
And then depressed, right? And we want to make sure that we take care of all our seniors, so that they're somebody who should be cherished and not just tossed away.
Absolutely.
Also,
Right?
and then
Society will be
the
blessed
homeless
if
and
we honor them. Yeah, I was just
exactly. There's so much knowledge in that person, and other societies just they respect that knowledge and want that knowledge, and it seems here in America we don't have as much respect for the elderly as we should, and of their experiences of what they've gone through in their life. So
yes.
but also with seniors are homeless, and we do have some homeless seniors on the streets that need help. So homeless is another big issue, and it's just growing exponentially, it seems, in our community. Not everybody wants to be homeless. They're there through no fault of their own. They've lost their jobs because their business closed down through COVID and hasn't reopened. We haven't gotten really back to full operation as we had before 2020. And so some people are there because they can't afford to live. And so then that ties into affordable housing. We need an affordable housing for people to live in and take care of themselves and be productive people. They want to be productive, but there's nowhere for them to go. So they end up not having a home, living in their car or wherever. So there's several very, very pressing issues.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Priorities for the board. And, when you speak about affordable housing, we often hear about that in our area. And I think everybody's familiar with that because we see these astronomical rent hikes and just the enormous valuation increase in properties. And it's really true, Denise, that, you want to move to a city that you can afford to live in. You want to move to a city that has good schools. And people,
Right.
if you have a city with a good school district and excellent schools, that attracts families, that attracts, taxpayers. And conversely, if your school system is not great, sometimes that's enough of an impetus for people to leave. And same thing with housing, that can be an impetus for people to have to go someplace else. And your thriving, vibrant communities have those different stratas of housing prices. So I think that that's great, that's a priority that you want to try to collaborate on and get some headway on bringing those high living costs down.
Yeah.
Now, is there any way you could do anything with the cost of gas and inflation, or is that's just pie in the sky? Mm.
That's thanks to our president.
So,
yeah. Unfortunately, that's not something that the county commissioner does. But I mean, other than, I don't know about the taxes, the gas tax, because our gas in Carson City is less than in Reno.
Oh, yeah.
Just because we have higher taxes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to go ahead and conclude today's episode and wrap up. One more question having to do with management of the county and resources, and that is that we're talking about bringing the price of housing down where that is possible to do, and making sure that residents have services such as parks and taking care of our seniors in District 3. And we're not saying that growth is bad by any means. We're just talking about the best utilization of what we have available, our resources. So should the county be, because some people will complain, oh, all these Californians are coming here, all these folks from LA, but should our county be encouraging more building and more development, because we are growing?
We are 6,000 homes average. Every year we're short 6,000 homes for people to live in, people who want to come and live here and they can't find a home. So part of that problem is there's a lot of land in Nevada, but it's held by the government, by BLM, and they won't release it. They can release some of that to make room for more growth for people. Our city wants to grow, and responsible growth is not bad. We don't want to have a city that dies because we won't grow. So we kind of have a two-part problem where we want these people to come in. However, we need to have a place for them to stay. And we've got the land, but the government won't release that land for developers. And then the longer that developers wait the longer they wait to release land, the longer developers have to wait to do their building, and then prices go up. So then housing goes up. So it kind of gets to be a vicious cycle.
Mhm. Yeah. Whoops. And with that, can you speak to what maybe a couple of the keys are to unlock the government to release some of that BLM land?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That is something that I don't know how to make the government. I know that they've been approached with it many times,
Mhm.
but they want to hold on to that land. And actually Nevada has some more land than most states that belongs to the government. And even if they just release just a small portion of it, would help with our housing problems.
Mhm. Right, right. And I know that that is something that the county commissioner board does work on, is freeing up BLM land. So that just another challenge, I guess, to keep continually working on with that.
Right.
So, well, it's been great just to kind of touch base on a few key points to learn a little bit more about you and what you're about and why you want to run for county commissioner. And I appreciate your time today. We have all liked hearing from you. So thank you so much, Miss Denise, and you're welcome to come on at a future point if you so decide. Could you give the folks your campaign web address for us?
Yes, absolutely. It's Myer for washoecounty.com, and Myer is MYER.
Excellent.
Just 4 little letters. MYER for washoecounty.com.
Okay, well, we'll be sure to post that on this this file that's going to be posted out. And folks, can keep in mind that they can always contact you via the website and offer support. So if
Yes.
Denise's, values align with what you want to see happen in the county, then you can offer to make phone calls or knock on doors and talk to voters and hand them a pamphlet, or donations are always helpful to print out those pamphlets that go out, and whatever else is needed. You can even just put a sign on your yard. If you're in District 3 and this speaks to you, you can come down to the Washoe GOP office on South Virginia near Moana, and you can get signs for Denise Myer's campaign.
One final word I wanted to say, Nichelle, is you mentioned that county commissioner is a down ballot candidate, and that is the key to getting our local government changed, getting our down ballot candidates. And it's not just county commissioner, it's our school board members, it's our state assembly people, our councilmen. Getting them in office is the key to getting your voice heard and getting our government to change, our local government.
That's such a huge point. I'm so glad that we're going to kind of put the exclamation point on that as we close, because we have Mike Clark, we have Jean Herman, and Denise Myer, who are all running for county commissioner, and they are, conservative, fiscally responsible, sound candidates. So, it's you want folks that do not want to just spend money like it's water. And even more importantly than that, I feel, are people who are serving out of an unselfish motivation. It is not the motivation to become a career politician to get super duper wealthy. It's to come in and serve for a time and then step into your life. So let's remember those names: Mike Clark, Jean Herman, and Denise Myer for sure. And also we do encourage everybody to research the school board candidates: Graham Reed, Melanie Sutton, and Colleen. Yes.
Westlake.
Colleen Westlake. Okay, thank you. So So the down ballot is huge.
Yeah.
We have a saying around here, which is county by county. That's how we change our nation. We deal with what's right here, our community. We make our
Right.
community function. And if people are doing that all across the states, things should get better. So thank you so much for today.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure having you on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Good. All right. Okay. Very cool. All right. That was a little under 30 minutes. So perfect.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll.
And I really wanted to get the down ballot candidate point in there because people don't realize that how important those candidates really are.
You know, and I'm going to put a little action item note on my thing here to put a blurb about that up on the page where everything gets housed. We're going to put all the Meet the Candidates on a Meet the Candidates page, but we could put it up at the top, county by county and down ballot, because I didn't know that either. Back in May, when I started to get involved with you all, I didn't know that.
And we're all learning. Most of us, except for Jeannie and Michael, have been around for a while into different elected positions, but for most of us, it's new to us, and we are learning every day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know I'm definitely learning. So very cool. So I'm probably going to take, well, I'm going to go to the hospital now, but tomorrow is Friday. So Friday, I'm going to work on getting this all pretty, the front end and the back end, and putting the sound in and all that. And then this will get released on YouTube and all the other channels. And I will just send you a link. I'll just say, okay, it's out, and then you can view that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Well, you have a good one.
All right. You
Okay.
too.
All right. Bye, Denise.
Bye-bye.